Hey everybody, it's Susie Q and I'm here to show you just what I do. I have a passion for fish and exotics too, so come along with me, it's Susie Q. Hey everybody, it's Susie Q and I'm here to show you just what I do. I got a passion for fish and exotics too, so come along with me, it's Susie Q. Hey everybody, it's Susie Q and I'm here to show you just what I do. I have a passion for fish and exotics too, so come along with me, it's Susie Q. Hey everybody, it's Susie Q. Hey everybody, it's Susie Q. Na na, hey everybody, it's Susie Q, so come along with me. Said I'm Susie Q.
So I actually had a topic I wanted to talk about tonight because I'm fairly new to the fish keeping world, 2.5 years, kind of new, but not too new where I haven't done a lot of research. But I know in this last 2.5 years, I got so far removed from testing anything. Here's some of my test kits that I've used over and over and over again, and I just stopped testing. But now keep in mind, I have just set up 2 new tanks. Well, actually 3 if you count the nano. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. There's my fish tank. That's my goldfish tank with fresh water. There's my saltwater tank. Yeah, the dripping select pet was the dripping noise. And here is some of the stuff that I was testing. And the reason, no, Jeremy, you didn't miss anything. The reason why I wanted to throw this out there, because I got so used to all my tanks being very balanced that I kind of stopped testing. I kind of got away from it, where I didn't test at all. I didn't test anything. And then when I set up these 2 new tanks, using tons of beneficial bacteria below in the goldfish tank, using live rock, I started thinking, well, I really don't know if it's working. I better start testing. So I thought that's what I would do today. I thought I would bring out my test kits and just see, like, everybody's saying hi, hi. There's so many fish femmes up in here. That's right. I love it. Love it. So what do you guys think about me actually testing these tanks? It was everything inside me not to already test. Because a part of me wanted to test to make sure they were all good, you know, before you go live. But that's just not what I'm about. This is me. So I was going to do the salt water first. I mean, ammonia first for the salt water and the fresh water. It's funny. So I do have some notes that I was going to do because I know, like, all it takes is a shiny thing or an Aquafunk's case, you know, a squirrel running by for me to forget what I was talking about. So yeah, I got away from the habit of doing all that. I got 3 brand new tests. I want to test for ammonia, nitrates, and nitrites. And the reason why I want to test for those 3 is because for me, those are the easiest to test for. Now with the saltwater tank, I'm going to see if I can move, if you can still see and hear me. There is cupramine that I could be putting into the tank. But why would I put anything in the tank that I can't test for? So I try to make that a rule of thumb. If I can't test for it, don't add it to my tank. That made sense. So I was testing for pH to get a higher pH level in my cichlid tanks, and I was testing for pH. So I was adding crushed shells so that I could keep a stable, buffered, higher pH than what comes out of my tap water. The other thing I test for all the time, and these I do because I love how I test for them, temperature. Constantly testing for temperature. Constantly. But you got to watch out. Testing through a glass It's not always that accurate. Sometimes I got to open up the glass and test right through the water, especially when I'm doing my hot spots in my reptile tanks. 73. Oh, that was a goldfish tank of 73. That's 80 degrees, and that's through glass. The other thing I test for is TDS. Now, TDS, I used to call it total dissolved stuff because I could never remember the solids. I should not. I can't be reading the chat. I got a glass of water right out of my tap. Let's see here. Tell me if it's too loud when I move this microphone back and forth. I hope not. But if you can see this, I'm going to test the TDS of my tap water. And I push the hold button so that when I pull it out, I can still read what it says. 93. Can you see that? This is saying that it comes out at 93 and it's 68 degrees. This is right out of my tap. Now it's saying 101. So if I was to do like RODI water, I could get that. Oh, I'm right there. Look, I'm right here. You can still see me. What? I don't even have to get up and down. So I don't have to keep going back and forth. The RODI water will test at 0. John moved in. We have not connected the RODI water unit. And for this salt water, I am testing using tap water with safe. Very nervous about it, very apprehensive. I checked with many experts and they all said as long as I don't have corals, it was okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But anything that I add to my tank is going to add to the TDS. I can't tell if there's... It's going to add to the TDS, but this I test all the time. My saltwater tank, I test the salinity. And something, I'm not sure if you guys keep salt water or not, but when you get the right salinity level, it's easy to test. This lever here is actually going to test the buoyancy. This is going to test the buoyancy of the salt water. So it should be right up here, right around 1.023. When water evaporates out of my saltwater tank, the water evaporates, but the salt doesn't. So I can replenish with just plain water and keep the same salinity. That I've done and tested time and time again. But if I'm doing a water change, which if I'm going to test this now and the ammonia's high, that tells me that that live rock isn't enough to cover the bio load because I've only had this set up for a week. Then I would have to do a water change, and the new water that I put in has to be the right salinity and the right temperature. So we're going to test for that. That's the salinity. That's my pH. I got high pH range and regular pH range. I got two different kits, test kits. I got saltwater test kit and freshwater. I got test strips. Now, these might not be accurate. These might not be to the exact number, but they'll tell you if there's an issue ASAP. So that's why I like those. I'm going to come back and check out some of the chat. But absolutely. Elizabeth, I don't know why the phone didn't go through. She's my lifeline. She's my lifeline. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard of that before. Hopefully it gets better. Fish Tank Barn. Thank you very much. $4.99 from the Fish Tank Barn. Susie, are you using a fructometer to test salinity? I do have both. The other one is downstairs. So this is what I use for the most part for the everyday, because this is what John brought and it was up top. In my room, I have a fructometer. I would go get it and show you, but it's in the other room. It does the exact same thing, and I've done a small video on it. So yes, I do have one and use them. And thank you very, very much for the super chat. That was amazing. And to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I would hate to miss anybody because that would be horrible. So Elizabeth said, my phone is telling me to call you, Elizabeth. Wow, there's a lot of chat I missed. If anybody has a question for me, go ahead and ask again, because I must have missed it. Selfin, have you been drinking? Oh, and when this live stream started, it was just the beginning of the fourth quarter. So I don't know how they're doing, and I'm trying really hard not to obsess over that. So thank you, Mike. I hope that answered your question. Salt does not evaporate. Correct. And if you can only remove it. So that's why I got to be really careful what we have set up. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a 5-gallon bucket that sits on the floor that has the right amount of water with the salinity, the right level of salinity, with a heater in there to keep it the right temperature, and it's constantly moving. So if I need to add in, here we go. The only things I test for ammonia, nitrates, and nitrates. I test pH occasionally, but if it changes, I have never tested for anything else. I use an ice cap salinity pen, works like your TDS meter. That's perfect. That's perfect. And Cavaliers, that's for the most part what I test for. I test especially with brand new tanks being set up. If I wasn't doing huge beneficial bacteria and I was adding like pure ammonia, or putting, like, if anybody watched KG Tropical's video today, oh my God, that was amazing. I thought that was funny. Was it Tanks of Our Lives? That was so funny. Now I can't wait to see like the drama story versus the informational story as well. But anyway, they were talking about doing all these tests, and I'm glad they hit on that, especially with cycling a new tank. This is not really a fission cycle, although I did get some comments that people thought that's what I was doing. I was just filling up 120 gallons and putting all these goldfish in there. So what I had done, oh, Mr. B, I have to talk on that in a minute. Is there a way to highlight that comment so I don't forget? I guess there's no way to highlight it. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Thank you, Candy. I did just set that up. So when I was setting up this goldfish tank, somebody commented that they thought I was doing, that's a lot of fish to do a fish-in cycle. So they must not have seen that in the sump I had added 5 huge sponges that were being used for all the 3 different tanks that these fish came from. So I know that the beneficial bacteria in those sponge filters has enough to handle this bioload. Now if I went out and bought 5 koi or 6, excuse you, or 6 more goldfish, that might be a different story. So if I was to add fish in here, I'd add them slow, let the beneficial bacteria build up to it. But as of today, that's a theory that I'm trusting because of past experience with other tanks. I have never tested this to see, is the ammonia at 0? Is the nitrites at 0? Is the nitrates ready for a water change? So this is going to be interesting for me. So first I'm going to do ammonia on both tanks. But I want to talk about what Mr. B just posted. And thank you very much. Salt does not evaporate. That's not what I wanted to say, but thank you. I think he said check your test strips, because, yeah, see, now I can't find it, Mr. B, but he said check your test strips. Look at Mr. B all saying good stuff. There you go, because they expire. So I don't know exactly. Holy cow. So, okay. No making fun of me. I actually cannot read that. Expire. I'm going to act like they didn't expire. They should never write it like this. Let's see the best camera to put it in. Huh. It looks like it's at least 2022. So these are still good. So I'm gonna, does somebody have a question for me? Because I don't think the questions highlights. Won't the water in the bucket evaporate and make your salinity be off before you add it to your tank? Oh, I hope that's what Mr. B was referring to. No, the salinity be right. If I added it straight like that, yes. Yes, if we notice that it was only half full instead of full, yes. But it does not evaporate as anywhere as near as the rest of the tank because it's got a tight lid on it. They do expire, but these are not. So the first thing I'm going to do. Now another thing I have, because I was talking about these test strips, which are just, you know, regular test strips. This is easy because on the side of it, it's got the legend of what it's supposed to look like. These easy test strips for ammonia. In here, that's all it is testing for ammonia. So it's real quick, especially when you're going. But I apparently added other test strips inside here, which without the legend, I have nothing to compare it to. So it's not the same as the APIs. So what I always do with these test strips, because I'm a little bit frugal, is I take them like this and I just cut them right down and make 2 test strips. I feel like my tank is pretty stable. Yeah, my tank is pretty stable. And here's the other thing that why I like doing the TDS. Not to bounce around a little bit, but I will bounce around. Another reason, because my tanks downstairs are so stable. They are crystal clear. Everything goes around smooth. It's just beautiful. But every time there's evaporation and I add more water, do a small water change, evaporation, add more water, keep going. Those TDSs are building and building. And I think they call that old tank syndrome. So this TDS will give me, now those fish in there it's here, how would I put it? It's kind of like if you're in a bathtub and you keep adding hot water, but you're already in warm water and it's getting slightly hotter and hotter, you sitting in the tub won't realize it anywhere near that if somebody else jumped in the tub. Well, that's a bad analogy. Anyway, you know what I mean. If somebody else jumped in, it would be like super steaming hot. That's kind of like the old tank syndrome. The TDS just, it's almost like I will call it like gets thick with solids. Not literally, but if you don't do huge water changes. This helps because there are times I float and put fish in from that have been sitting in a quarantine tank over to a very old tank that runs well, but the new fish won't make it because I've tested all the parameters but didn't test the TDS. So it's kind of important for me, only because I had a lot of tanks that were like that, and when I put newer fish in, they didn't make it, and I could not figure out for the life of me what was going on. So I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to test ammonia in both tanks. And if anybody's watching the Eagles game, I'd love to know if they got a touchdown. Look at Q's mug. Is to the right hand only mug. Is it a right hand only mug? Oh, you are so right, Mr. B. But this mug with my grandbaby on it, ambidextrous mug right here. Very good point, Mr. B. Now, I don't know if anybody in here does not test. But what I like to do is you just fill it up to the line. I try really hard. I wish I had like super cool holders for these. And I was going to invent them when I first started keeping fish so that I could, because I was testing 20, 30 tanks. And I wanted to line them all up and test them. But it was within a month or so. Oh, 17.9. That after a while I wasn't testing anymore, so that idea went. But I think somebody should invent that for these people with multiple tank addiction. What do you call it? Multiple tank syndrome, MTS? MTA addiction syndrome. that when you're testing a whole lot of tanks in the beginning, it'd be nice to have a little thing all lined up. So I'm going to do one for the fresh water. You can see that here? I hope you can see that. One for the salt water, and I am really, really hoping that I don't embarrass myself here, because salt water, I'll do it this way because salt water's on this side, fresh water's on this side. Now I'm thinking I probably really should have tested it ahead of time. So now, I don't know if you know this, but these bottles are made this way so you can open it with one hand. If you hold that little red thing with your thumb, you should be able to unscrew it with one hand like this. That's what that little red thing is for. Just because usually you're holding it in the other hand. 8. 8. This is bottle 1, which expires in 2022. Uh-oh. There we go. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ay, ay, ay. It was not as easy as it looked. Fresh water. Please stay yellow. Salt water. So no, I know a lot of people here. Whose envelope is this? Aha, 1 fish, 2 fish ROC. We got some cute little fish on the back. I'm gonna see if this helps. You just wanted to shake it up a little more. Does this help a little bit? With the... Oh yeah, it does. No. Someday. And I wanted people to see this because the saltwater chart color is just a little different. That is what the salt water is supposed to look like versus the fresh water. So I wanted to do that. I guess we can wait a few minutes. There's an exact time you're supposed to wait. If anybody knows that, they can say it out loud. Because right now I'm reading it in another language. 5 seconds. Put the cap on. Turn it up. Okay, 5 minutes. So we're going to give it 5 minutes and keep talking. But hopefully, and I can tell you a little story about the last time I tested water, and it wasn't because we were being proactive. It was because we weren't thinking. We set up brand new temporary tanks in a hotel room. Didn't test for everything. No, it didn't break. Didn't test. We put these amazing fish that we got as presents in, and all of a sudden a fish was dying, other fish were struggling. We were panic struck, pull out our test kits, which thank goodness we brought with us. Well, apparently the hotel room tap water came out with ammonia at, what was it, Elizabeth? Do you remember? It was like 0.5 ppm of ammonia right out of the tap. Ay, ay, ay. Right out of the tap. I just don't want to forget that. It is. Oh, you know why I got the ammonia? Because I don't think this one came with ammonia on it. I did get the test strips because I was being lazy. Let me get the book again. Oh my gosh. So hopefully the ammonia, so it's not toxic, you want that at 0. The nitrates at 0. Or nitrites at 0, and the nitrates can be almost at 5 ppm, right? I am liking those colors. That makes me feel good. Here's a question I haven't seen yet. What are some medications that you keep on hand or recommend keeping on hand? Well, I don't give advice on medications. I take advice from people like Corey at Aquarium Co-op, or Rachel O'Leary, John and Lisa at KG Tropicals. Steenfot does pretty much, he listens to what Corey recommends. It's not that Corey recommends. It's what Corey has worked very hard to look at and test and knows what works for him out in Washington. So I use the General Cure. I have erythromycin. Did I say that right? Erythromycin. I have ICX. And I have aquarium salt. So my first go-to is always aquarium salt. Do I have it here? That's not to be confused with like cichlid salt, because I think there's additives in cichlid salt. It's just I didn't bring out my salt. That's my preventative measure. I do that with my turtles as well, is I give them a little bit of a salt bath before I would do anything with like an iodine solution or anything. If you saw some cloudy eyes, like, and that's what I like, because on the box, and it says what they're for. Let's see, it says my tap water comes out at 330 TDS. Oh, it comes out at 1 parts per million ammonia and some chlorine. That is awful. That's what we experienced in that hotel room. It was just horrible. Fish were dying. We literally got in the car, ran to, I think it was a Walmart, and grabbed as many bottled waters as we could and did 100% water changes. But unfortunately, I think Elizabeth lost one of her male guppies, and oh, it was just horrible, horrible. Super chat, superstar. Super chat from Bob Kaler. Thank you, Bob. Great job, Susie. Excited to see you doing some salt. So many more would if it didn't seem so difficult. This helps demystify it. Yes, especially if this works with tap water without having an RODI system used. Now, if my nano tank turns into a reef tank, and thank you again very much for the super chat, turns into a reef tank, yes, I will use RODI water. But here's the issue I have with the RODI water. So, John lives in his apartment, past tense. I lived in my house. He can run water all he wants and does not get a water bill. In my house, I get a quarterly water bill. So when you do RODI water, there's a lot of wastewater. Yeah, you can try to capture that wastewater and use it to garden. But right now it's the middle of winter, there's no gardening. I don't even know if you could use that wastewater to do your laundry, because I don't even know if it would like mess up the pipes or anything. So there's a lot of waste. I think there's another component you can add on after the regular RODI that takes that wastewater and runs it through again. I'm pretty sure I saw some reefers talking about that. And if I was going to do ROD water from my house here that I pay for a water bill, I would absolutely look into that and get that going, so that so there's not a lot of waste. I mean, this water bill is ridiculous. Well, it's also ridiculous because of 2,000 gallon pond in the back, 45 fish tanks. If you haven't seen Ginger Graves' latest video, she needs help identifying a disease her fish have. So please help. Looks like ick and something fungal on it. Yeah, somebody who's got a lot of experience. Check that out. A night of poetry funk. Is that what we're in for? Hugh, make sure when adding any medication that you add oxygen with air stones or sponge filters. Good point, Chevy. I don't think too much about that because all my tanks are sponge filters. I'm so excited. I didn't tell you guys. I don't want to hyperventilate. But there's a new club restarting up nearby. They asked me to speak. I'm like, say what? And I am going to do a talk on why I use sponge filters. So I'm glad you said that. But yes, aeration is critical when you use a medication. The same thing as removing carbon, because the carbon's going to take the medication out. And if the directions say do a 1/3 water change before every dose, then make sure you do a 1/3 water change before every dose. Like, I have tried in the past to I don't need to do that, and I'll just do this, and I'll just real quick on the fly. But whether it adds too much medication or if it adds too much TDS or whatever could happen, I just follow the directions. Follow the directions. And Kaler is saying it's not fungal, it's viral. It's viral. Oh yeah, Cassie was going through that. Only use your ROD for your saltwater tank. Scott, I'm trying to not use RODI for my saltwater tank because my saltwater tank is all fish. So I'm using tap water for my saltwater tank. And I am going to let you know how this works out. Let me tell you, I am very excited. And it's a pretty hefty price to pay if it doesn't, but I talked to some very influential people in the hobby, some OGs, and they all said the same thing. Hodes, did I say that right? Hodes in the house. Are you familiar with the disease, Bob? The mollies have had it before, the salt trick. Thank you, Science Gal. I am so silly excited. How many pounds of rock do you have in the saltwater aquarium? So it's very funny because there is a lot of rock in there, but it was live rock for years, and we took it out and dried it out so it was no longer live rock. In the nano tank that they were set up in the transitional tank, because he moved like 10 miles and it was sat there on the counter for 3 weeks, that remained live, but that was also has the bristleworms in it. So I put those live tanks in the bottom, in the sump. I don't know how the poundage. And up here is going to be live rock as it cultures, as it, what do you call it? Livens up. Oh my gosh. Sophie just laughed at me. Did you hear her? So yes, so I don't know how many, but there is a formula, live rock per, what is it, fish, per inch of fish, or, I'm late because I was playing Pokemon. Pokemon? Oh, Pokemon! I thought that was like 20 years ago. Is Pokemon still around? You need to start collecting rainwater. Really? Really? I do collect rainwater, but we use it to water the garden. I can use the rainwater, I guess. I'm going to have to test that. Because where I live, it's in between like Philadelphia, New York, the Washington area. I'm not so sure the rainwater falling out of the sky is going to be at a 0 TDS. It's pretty thick around these parts. It might depend on the pollution cap that you live under. Does that make sense? And maybe I just think that, but if you can still see the rock, but it isn't alive, then it must be a ghost rock. I have tons of ghost rock in there. Oh, hey, Cassie. So I was oh, look at, I forgot to see, this is why I stopped testing also, because I didn't have a timer. I didn't set for 5 minutes. It's long past 5 minutes, but they're still yellow. So the fact that these two brand new tanks set up with lots of fish are 0 ammonia, that tells me that at least there was enough beneficial bacteria in there that they weren't starting from scratch, that I know. I would like to test nitrates. That's the one that you have to do a water change on. I better go, folks. Oh, I missed that. Good night. Well, let me show. Okay, we got 21 minutes for Aquafunk. 21 minutes and 9 seconds. I don't want to miss that at all. Aw, Eagles lose to Seahawks. I'm going to act like I'm not super sad right now. But I'll message you how to use it and treat it. Thank you, Mr. B. That would be amazing. Congrats on getting asked to speak, Susie. That is an honor. You are not kidding. I am, first of all, I wanted to explain to her that she probably has the wrong person, because in my mind, like, serious? Like, what could I possibly talk about with OGs all around that they don't already know? I have to get over that. I have to get over that. Nobody else has the exact experience I have, and as long as I'm not telling people what to do or what, I'm just telling them what works for me and why I did this. and why I am doing that. Thank you. Even after tonight, yes, I've been in Philly. Now, John is a Titans fan, so if the Titans are on, gotta tell you, I'm one of those. I change jerseys. He's my fiance. So if the Titans are playing, I'm a Titans fan all the way. We have yet to see the Titans and the Eagles play, because then there could be a problem. But yes, I am an Eagles fan. So modest. No, I don't think it's modest. I think it's real, but yeah. Love the timer. We don't have to remind you. Well, you still have to remind me, because that timer could go down to 0 and I'd still be talking. So, Connor, what is Connor saying? Me, when she said I thought Pokemon was like 20 years ago, is still around. Yeah, there's a new game out every November and it's still super popular. That is so cool, Connor. That is so cool. I am not a real big on the games for a couple reasons. One, the biggest reason is with my ADD, I get so hyper-focused. I tend to I would miss school when I was going to school. I would miss life because I was so obsessed with these games that I couldn't. So it's easier for me not to play any of the games because I don't know how to stop. Oh, Rainer. Look at that. It's bristleworms if you have the problem. Seriously. Sayana, is that how you say it? Sayana snails will eat the bristleworms? Ah. Oh, thank you, Chevy. I have never heard of that snail. No, you deserve it for sure. You have a great perspective. Must be late. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what I want to talk about? Cichlid King Aquatics. Hi, Susie Q. Cichlid King Aquatics. Hello there. I had to say that a couple times. It's all about sharing your experience. Ah, Lisa, fishy people. I have to say, I have to interrupt this program for a special newscast on John and Lisa's video today. I was laughing so hard. It reminded me of watching, what was that nighttime soap opera? Soap. It was like, not only do I want to watch the next episode for the information of the fish, obviously, duh, but I want to see, do those two actually get together? Because you notice, they're both checking out other people. I can't wait to see what happens. So that's like ingenious. Cichlid King Aquatics. I'm a Tennessee boy. They're the Titans. You saw that, man. They are on fire. They are on fire. You don't have to worry about Eagles and Titans this season, my friend. Shut it. Sponge filters are easily my favorite. Mine too, but they do have some drawbacks. Sometimes OG don't keep up. And okay, good point, Bob. A big part of I want to talk about and address, and I'm obviously not prepared to do it now or here, but I do want to talk about the newer people in the fish keeping world, how they get their information and where they learn from and what they're going and the resources that they use is very different from 30 years ago. And it's not like, oh, you got to get out in the world, you got to go to a fish club, and for all practical purposes, they're going on YouTube. They're checking out Facebook groups. They're using their, I guess you wouldn't really go on TikTok, but they're using their social media skills to decipher information. So I thought, how great is it? So we got the OGs that are over here that don't quite understand that, and we got the YouTube world, I'll call it, the newer people that Google stuff that don't quite understand all this. Somehow or another they got to merge. Somehow or another, because I've heard some of these people saying things like, well, they just got to get out and learn, and they got to talk to people and read some books, and these over here is, well, they're old school and they're out of touch. Somehow or another we got to bridge the gap. And I know I want to start a list of all the OGs that are starting YouTube channels. Wow, that's amazing. They don't have any subscribers, they don't have any views, but they're putting out amazing content. But they don't realize if the thumbnail isn't amazing enough to click on, people aren't seeing them. So somehow or another, if we could bridge that gap, I think that would be amazing. because there are people that don't get to see both sides of the world, and they're either this or this. And there's really, I don't know. I don't even know if that just made sense, but I think that needs something that just needs to be addressed. Can't wait to see you at the Big Fish Deal. I cannot wait. This is going to be another first for me. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to the Big Fish Deal for the Saturday. Now, I think, Lisa, you're going to Friday night, staying over and going home Saturday. I'm Saturday, staying overnight Sunday, and I'm going to go fish store hopping all Sunday. There's an exotic bird store I want to go to, 3 fish stores I want to go to, all on the way home. I am so excited. That's coming up in March. Very excited. I'm pretty sure I figured out what happened to my paradise fish. I've got a video coming out tomorrow about it. Oh, I love my paradise fish. I'd love to see what happened. Thank you, Candy, for posting that video, man. It's just something about it. I think it's ingenious. You guys, that was just ingenious. I love it. It was so funny because it had so many different... It's just great. It's a great delivery. And there's a story behind the story. Not soap. More like Tim the Tool Time Tailor, that show. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. How are the paradise fish making out? I'd love to know that too, yeah. Looking forward to the video. If I'm right, I can't even say that. Great point, Susie. Thank you. I hope that we can somehow connect them. Oh, Jet, you're also going to go to the Big Fish Deal. Yeah. So, I don't know his last name. They call him Two. He's got a store in South Carolina, North Carolina. He comes from, help me if I'm saying it wrong, Elizabeth, Vietnam? I didn't pay that close attention to that, but the man himself was amazing, generous, knowledgeable, old school. Neil Frank sitting across from me. Unbelievable. Like he was the founder of AGA. I think it was Aquascaping something. He's trying to start up a YouTube. Mark De Niro's starting up a YouTube. There's so many OGs out there that have been out collecting, or people who've got fish named after them, that they want to start communicating. They want to start touching the lives of the new fish keeper coming into play. And I want to get their name. I want to start promoting their channels. I want to get people, I want to somehow or another mesh those two. Because I can see both sides. Because if I told some of my daughters, oh no, read this book, she goes, wow, and I can Google it. I just know, and it's not necessarily that she's lazy because she reads other books, but her time is so limited, she's going to read the book she wants, not... And I just, two trend, let me put this up here. Yes, and he's North Carolina Bettis Fish. He was awesome. And the AGA. I was very, very close. Yep. So, and the Big Fish Deal. Woo! They don't know about his channel. They need to know about his channel because this guy is amazing. He has showfish. Very, very knowledgeable. Look at this, 11 minutes. It's still up there on my screen. Can I get a what? Now, I did want to show, I thought I saw Johnny Goldfish. Johnny Goldfish, you still in the house? Is it my iPad? I don't know if this will work. No, my iPad fell asleep. iPad fell asleep. I'm still trying to figure out all these. There we go. iPad's awake. Ta-da! I told him Ness and he read about it and he moved on. So, I am missing a goldfish. I don't know what happened. I don't see a skeleton in there. That's what's prompted me to do this video. That's what prompted me to do these, is like, where did it go? And if I'm not mistaken, it's my pander. I was very fond of that panda fish. Caroline Default, I am new in the fish world and love coming to the YouTube to learn. Just have to be careful and make sure the YouTuber knows his or her stuff. Very true, Caroline. Very, very true. And that's the thing, is if you can figure out and discern the difference between people who are just out to get like views and stuff versus those who have credibility, and you'll notice the ones who have credibility will preface their videos a lot. Like Rachel said, like I've written books, I write for this magazine, I've done this, so you know their credentials. Or Lisa and John will say, like, we've had the fish store, I've been keeping fish for 40 years. Versus, and if anyone's saying, here's what you got to do, it's probably not the right channel. It's probably not the right channel. When people talk of their own experience and their own successes and their own failures, that's what I pay attention to. Because if somebody's going to sit here and say, you can't do that, really? All that I hear is that you can't do that. I can do that. All you got to do is tell this alcoholic I can't do something. And guess what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try anyway. I'll learn the hard way. Yes, it was the pander. It was the pander. So he gave me another kind of panda-like one that's googly eyes, but I've checked in this driftwood. I thought maybe he got in the driftwood and he can't get out. There's no sign of him. I checked in the overflow. I don't know what happened to him. I'm liking the black sand in the goldfish tank. Thank you, HC Aqua. Thank you very much. I thought it would be hard to detect where the detritus is. So easy to, not gravel hover. It is so easy to hover over and just pick up because one's black and the other's like brownish. Perfect. Johnny Bag of Donuts in the house? What? Johnny Bag of Donuts is in the house? We're at $9.99 from Johnny Bag of Donuts. I'm going to mute for a second. I just screamed in my house. Yo, phone, you here? Because I think he's at work. I don't think he's home. So he logged in as yeah, the pander. NC Betta Fish. Thank you, thank you. That is awesome. I know I'm bouncing around. Great tip. If you can't find a fish, test water. That's what I thought. It's not, though. It's not. Although it is 120 gallon and the panda fish was a tiny goldfish. And if I thought that any one of these two comets or this large oranda was attacking a smaller one, I'm going to take those smaller ones out. But they have been living fine in the same tank for a long time. Oh, I'm spooking them. For a long time. Oh, he is a great guy. Unbelievable. Yeah. Who said the blue background? Where'd it go? I thought I saw somebody said likes the blue background. Oh, Zen. Where's Steam File when you need them? Like the blue background. Thank you. I actually liked applying the vinyl. Not that I'd be opposed to black. I like the vinyl. This was so easy to put on. And I just loved it. I just loved it. So thank you. It's, yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm going to go back to the bottom. It's a jumper. I thought maybe that would be the case, that it was a jumper. I went behind the tank. I went in the two overflows. Then I even thought, okay, it was small enough. Did he go through? Then I checked the sump with one of John's super duper flashlights. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, there's Johnny Goldfish. We had 5 new goldies in quarantine and 1 passed away. Called the guy and got a replacement, plus a special needs telescope with only 1 eye. Oh, so now you have 7 in quarantine. That is so awesome. Johnny Goldfish, you need to start documenting some of these. I want to see them, or at least instant message me a video of them. They sound adorable. Careful, Mike. No blue. That's enough out of you. Oh, Johnny Bag of Donuts just came home. Thank you, honey. He just walked in the door. Oh, GoFundMe for Scott. Thank you, Kaylor. Thank you, Kaylor. Oh, there's Neil Frank's website. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. He was so sweet, so nice. Sisterhood of the Blue Background. I like that one better than Amateur Aquatics. So I'm not going to highlight that one. But it was funny. Just saying. Okay, everybody thinks it's funny. Okay. Well, that escalated quickly. Yeah, it did. It did. But that's okay. Almost spit out my coffee out my nose. Does the vinyl peel off easy? Yes. It actually could. And my kids have this spray that you could spray on it. And what I tried on the test one is not spraying it on it, but spraying it on cloth and then wiping it on, it peeled right off. So nice. So, so nice. I would say it probably comes off with the same level of effort that scraping off paint would come off. Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm just very upset about the pander. Any of my fish that I actually name and are like pets. So downstairs, I'm working on it. Thank you, Johnny. Downstairs in their old tank, I have a lot of plastic plants. The only live plants these goldfish ever got was my duckweed. Cleaning out duckweed out of my fish room. Anytime I got a net full of duckweed, I gave to them. They seem to love the green part of the duckweed. And then you're left with all these tiny little like roots floating all around. So you still kind of have to go in and like with I use a shrimp net that's real like fine and get all the roots out because they'll just stick to everything. I have several blue backgrounds also. That's right. Blue is the way to go. Haven't done a blue background yet. Always done black. And the reason I started with the blue is because this was originally going to be for my Oscars. I enjoyed your recent update. Word to the blue. Yeah, I wanted to have some plants in here. Yeah, actually this is one of the few tanks. I'm actually getting more and more tanks that don't have any plants in it. Guppies really pop with blue background. See, there's a lot of good blue background. 3 minutes and 2 seconds according to my clock. I could be wrong. So let's not forget, we're going to all shoal over. Give Funk some love, man. Did you see his thumbnail? He looks like he's pretty beat up, man. He's got the black eye and the bloody nose. And just got to make sure we give him some love here. So this was fun. I know I didn't get to test. I didn't get to open my fish miss cards. I think I got a little sidetracked, but that's okay. I'm so loose. It doesn't even. Well, I'm not loose. Never mind. You know what I meant. That I'll do the fish miss cards another time. I'm very excited. Thank everybody for my super chats. You guys are awesome. Mike, don't make me use. What? Oh, what did Mike do? I can't wait to go back and see what did Mike do. It comes off easier when you replace it with a black background. That's funny. Friend owned the LFS as a kid. I had to paint the tanks. No more blue for me. Ah, yeah, I guess it gets old after a while. Let's not forget, we're going to go over and give Aquafuck some love. See what he's all beat up about, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank everybody for coming out. I still got to do the fish miss cards, and I'm going to have to do the rest of my testing on my own and with my left-handed coffee cup. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Mr. B. And thank you, Bob Kaler. Thank you, everybody. Everybody. Oh, my God. Bob, what? It says, the content and quick wit deserve to be recognized. Thank you so much, Bob. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Bob, thank you. I don't know about quick wit, but there is a wit. It's fine, Q. We learned a lot today. I am going to click on this link and head right over. I got Thirsty Rabbit, thanks to you. You and I got to talk. I want to do a collab with you, Mr. Thirsty Rabbit. So it'd be my nighttime, your morning. Let me know what you think. I will see you guys over in Aquafunk's stream. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. You guys rock.